What is going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, December 23rd, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. If you do want to show some Capricorn appreciation, please do like this video. If you enjoy this content, it does help other people interested in astrology find the video through the algorithm. And, it's Capricorn season, so Capricorn Appreciation Month, show this Capricorn some love. I do love and appreciate you all very much. I hope everybody's doing well. It's a new moon in Capricorn, so let's see what's up with that. First, got the chart here. It's at 2:16 a.m. on the west coast of the United States. It's going to be at 1 degree of Capricorn, and it's square Jupiter at 0 degrees of Aries. That's 0 point, and this is a very rambunctious new moon. Jupiter is trying to expand and amplify and make things kind of larger in life. It's in Aries here. This deals with our I am presence, our identification. We're kind of at this place where we are really seeing the identification of the journey, the story, our beliefs, kind of the bigger wisdom that we have within ourselves. And Jupiter's almost, higher self sort of aspect too. So there's this identification of a higher sense of self that we're getting. And this square is trying to initiate and force that action, especially with the sun and moon making that new moon in Capricorn. This does deal with integrity. This deals with destiny, responsibility. We got to show up. We got to put the work in. Things take time. This is such a amazing new moon that is trying to have us put quality effort into a higher perspective of ourselves and our life and how we can amplify this. So look at this lunation as a very big one here in Capricorn. And this Capricorn season is definitely a big one. So pay attention to things. This is definitely like you want to be on your game. You want to be, really dialed in to what it is you're trying to build and what it is you're starting. And I would say that we do have to remember things take time. We do have to remember, rushing works sometimes, but, when we rush some things, we might not get the big result that we're looking for. So I do think that it is a reminder that we can be too whoa with some things in our life, whether it's the things that we're trying to really put out to the public, the recognition that we're trying to achieve, but it's also a big check on how we recognize ourselves. And if we can commit to these stories and to ourselves in positive ways that are kind of blowing things up and not restricting us or oppressing us or, there's some energy that wants to slow it down just a little bit, but this is a cardinal square. These two signs want to get things done in square. So there's definitely a big urge to amplify what it is we're trying to do and the story. And, we're coming into a new year. People are going to have some big dreams and visions and goals here coming into a new year of how they want their 2023 to go. Just don't put a time limit to it. I think that there's a divine time essence that we're, of course, living in. Work hard, put effort in. This is such a prominent time for that. We have a lot of Capricorn energy. Sun, moon, Venus, Mercury's going to retrograde here in just what is that? 4 days? So, yeah, 6 days from now. So, we're going to start understanding more and more and more and more. Next year we have a Mercury retrograde in Capricorn also. We're getting, really dialed in here. And Mercury's going to retrograde over, these places from 24 back to 12 degrees of Capricorn, where a lot of these south node energies of the planets are. So remember that too during this Capricorn season, is that we are really seeing what is not working so that we can head into this next, really this winter solstice to the spring equinox here of a big, deep understanding of what's most important, what's most valuable, what is the achievement, and how to really figure out and make things larger than life. But they happen at a certain time, and Capricorn is time. So just remember the ideals and the vision and the journey. Like sometimes the journey takes longer. We can put a lot of information, or we can put the destination into MapQuest or fucking Google Maps, right? But sometimes there are unforeseen things on the journey that detour or reroute or slow us down. And as long as we can still stay positive during little reroute moments, we're good. So it's great. I'm stoked for this new moon. I really am. I think that there's a lot of beautiful things taking place just within us for this. And we're seeing also Uranus at 15 degrees and Venus at 16. So there is this trine from Venus in Capricorn to Uranus in Taurus, where this is showing us unorthodox ways to create abundance and different ways that we can sort of discipline and dedicate ourselves to what we're trying to have and create and to make happen, or different ways of, taking on responsibilities that feel good and unique. So a lot of insight, a lot of, good energy with people. People are going to be a big asset in our lives, and we can do a lot with people. So it's definitely finding energy that's on the right, sort of direction. Hopefully we're ascending in the same, sort of plane with people. However you want to look at it, people are going to be very important. It definitely does bring, money can be a roller coaster, if you will, like with Venus and the North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus and this trine, but that roller coaster can have some really high peaks and some exciting, sort of plateaus at the same time that come to, I don't want to say just drops, but it's like being okay with fluctuation and innovating through it and still looking for excitement and woo, like the things that kind of, light you up and bring some electricity to what you're relating yourself to are very important as well. And Mars retrograde is at 10 degrees on Aldebaran for this. So this is Archangel Michael. This is really cutting to some serious truth in our life. And it may be sort of reconfiguring our mind and how we act. So we're just in such a time where you're going to start to look at the things you want to do differently. That's where the new story's going. That's where you want to build. Where we are kind of forced to initiate change. And kind of, that's another part of it with Jupiter at 0 degrees. It's also in this it's a quintile, 72 degrees to Mars, which is, it splits the, 360 degrees into 5 equal parts, the quintile. So it holds that sort of vibration of the 5 and the 5-pointed star. But when I think of 5 energy, I think of Mercury, and I think of Mars retrograde here in Mercury. And there is alchemization, there's hermeticism, it sits in the middle. So it's really positioning ourselves in the middle and not too far to one side or the other, but in a place where we can see information for what it is so that we can identify truth and identify things quickly that are expansive and that make sense to your desires and what it is we're building here in Capricorn and as we go forward in this next level of the legacy that we're all leaving here as souls. So very, very cool new moon. I'm excited for it. As we look just midday, we're going to see, the moon move off of that. That happens very early in the morning. And we're going to see the moon finish off the day with a nice trine over to the north node, sextile to the south node. Kind of like, okay, new moon, new values, new ways to emotionally find comfort in what you need to keep moving forward with, what you need to keep putting effort into, what's really important that has weight in your life that you want to commit to. Like this is, I would say just a very good energy for seeing what is really lighting you up from the inside, what is really making you feel confident and valuable, and how you can lay the foundation so that we can start building this big structure that this new journey is starting to show us. And, this 12-year cycle is a good one. Saturn's in Aquarius, of course. Not make it any huge aspects to anything, but I think it's important to remember that if we're talking about a new moon in Capricorn, we should mention Saturn and it's still dignified here as the co-ruler of Aquarius. And even with the sun kind of coming off that septile to it, that's a very divine degree too. This is an interesting area that it is different and out of the ordinary, but it's like, oh, there's some pull towards it. There's some kind of like um, I don't know, magnetic pull, if you will. Like there's something that's different and unique that we want to build around that has to do with people. It is also, you know, being non-attached is very important in this time with the South Node in Scorpio and even the moon making the sextile to it. Like Aquarius is so good. I like to use non-attachment instead of just detachment, because detachment does sound a little more abrasive, and it doesn't have to be. It's just the objective approach to knowing that everything has its sort of schedule, and some things leave, some things keep going into the future. And if you're not attached, you can embrace where things are heading instead of staying, maybe stuck in some, structure or rule that we've put on ourselves or that we've taken in from a source outside of ourselves that is limiting us. Or it is Capricorn season, and, that does deal with the devil card in tarot. There's an oppression, a oppression, if you will. So we're trying very hard, I think, to break out and to do it from an intuitive place and not so much like a mental place, but by still being very, you could say sharp mentally at the same time. Aquarius is very intelligent, but it's seeing above the clouds, it's seeing above the fog, and it's kind of at a place where we're ready to create new rules in our life. And I think that if we're in that, energy, we're going to start to define what boundaries are important for us moving forward and what boundaries are just a thing of the past, and where we do need to grow and accumulate more of the things that really feel like they have purpose. This is definitely a day to focus intent on what feels purposeful and what feels like it has all the potential in the world to grow, because you're into it and you want to put the time in. So we're also seeing Mercury at 21 degrees, and it's in that sextile to Neptune in Pisces, which is a little weird for Mercury, trying to understand the universe. There's not that much information, right? Even when you look at astronomy, some of this stuff is it's so far out there, it's so unseen. We're taking measurements of things that, how do we even measure this stuff? So it's interesting when we put, this strong defining structure or mental approach to things right now. Things are changing, I guess, for lack of a better word, and the way we're understanding things is different. And I think that the imagination and letting our mind go into a bigger space without the exactitude, but still staying at least focused enough on the bigger dreams and kind of seeing where the intuition can take us, I think is really helpful right now, because this Mars retrograde it's been hard for people mentally. I felt it. I know I've seen other people feel it. And, I would say Neptune's looking over at Mercury like, little buddy, just chill. Just chill. Mars is retrograde in your sign. You're about to retrograde. I'm going to see you 2 more times. Relax. Like, there's certain things that we do just need to put the rose-colored glasses on and say, I will get to that later. It's not that important right now. Instead of the overstress and the, guilt of not doing something right here, right now. So we want to remember this too moving forward, and don't sweat the small stuff. I think that's the big thing here, is like, there are really important things in your life that you want and can go after and can achieve. These are the areas of significance. And there's little things that, like, sure, we'll pay attention to certain things depending on the scale of importance in our life. But if it's not that important and we're just like stressing or overworking in areas that don't have the payout, that aren't important, that don't bring some kind of satisfaction or connection, or you don't even know if you want to do it long term, like, we don't have to focus on the dreams. Focus on the dreams. The dreams are being manifested. So, but it is revolving around creating new rule, trying things differently, being objective, non-attached, looking into the future. There's so much getting ready to start, and we can feel it very prominently on this new moon. And I think that this Friday is a good day to really have in somewhat of a list, but I don't even think it has to be so particularly lined out. It's like, what's the big goal that you're ready to go after on this journey? How does it make you feel? Don't second guess your emotions and put emotions down. It's not like something that just has like some societal prestige. This is soul, sort of higher self prestige of what you're doing here and what you can do and all the things you're capable of creating. Those are the future. Those are what we're aiming for right now. And I think we have a lot of backup from the universe to really get into that place, to not, we're so close to, we want to be impulsive so bad. I feel like we're like, yes, let's go. You will know that there's a plan, and you will know when it's your time. I would say that it's just not forcing the plan, but when you do feel it, it's the feeling you don't want to suppress, and hit it and go. So I do hope you have a lovely Friday. I think that, this energy is pretty good, even though it is, of course, a detriment new moon. There's a lot of backup. Jupiter's the great benefic, even though it's in square. This is just where we can overwork ourselves because of a story that isn't ours. But you'll notice where you put the work in that really feels like it aligns with you. It's not even going to feel like work. There's that saying, like, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Friday shows us that. And I guess it's up to us to define the story and the structure of our lives in a way that we're willing to accept that sort of energy and be creators instead of, suppressing and limiting ourselves. I think we can see that clearly. And I would say just the astrology moving forward over the next year and couple years here is really this decade is trying to break us out of that. So I definitely, my Aquarius energy is like, I can already feel it. And that's why I'm really into this new moon, because I think it's really positioning us well if we're able to feel, have courage, define big things that we want to go after that are very aligned with a bigger purpose. And maybe it's just the little things or the feeling you get today that needs to be sort of, stored away in your consciousness so that you have that ready to go when you feel the time is right. So put that intent out there to build your dreams and to make it happen and to listen to your inner guidance, your higher self, your emotions, and to not suppress that, and also to not overthink yourself to death, because we can get lost in thought if it's very linear. It's better to get lost in the dream right now and to start creating something substantial. And it's going to be different for everybody, but we're ready for that next tier. And I think that this new moon is going to show us big things, big things. Let's see what we got in the tarot. Justice. I love that card because she's running away from the police with a huge smile on her face because she stole, what is that? A lollipop, or that's like a caramel apple sort of thing, She's a Sag for sure, even though this is the Libra card. Like, we can really take things and run with it right now. And that's where we're going to find justice in our life. And there's all these ways that we're trying to be told not to, or programs that we're running that limit our creative abilities. And those are taking us away from the balance and the justice that I think we're looking for. So pay attention today to what is trying to take your happiness from you. And why is that, you know, even happening? And is that rule actually important? So, you know, will justice be served? I don't know. I don't think that cop's going to catch her. I'm not saying go steal by any means, but just in life, should you be, locked up for stealing your happiness back? However you want to apply that to your life. The Lovers reversed. I think that it just is about finding the things that we love and stealing those things back, even when we might feel like it's not okay to do so. We don't want to keep obeying some kind of contract in our lives if it doesn't bring love into our life, or if it makes us feel like we're being suppressed from the love that we want. So I think both these cards are saying, like, take your happiness and love back, and don't settle for nothing. Like, you deserve great things, and it's time to start making decisions, because it's Capricorn season now, and Capricorn is decisions. New moon in Capricorn. Your decisions define your life. If you decide to bring more love into your life, you will get more love in your life. If you don't, you won't. Three of Pentacles in reverse. This deck's funny. Well, I don't know. We can definitely put, our happiness, or sort of, we can tip the scales in weird ways because of other people in our life. And I think that we're going to see moving forward here that, it's not about stopping or oppressing other people. And it's not about, it really is finding your place that you want to put the effort into. And we can't be so worried about every other person and what they're doing. It's not about putting things down. It's not about shaming other people. It's not about a right or a wrong. It's just like getting back to doing what you love and not letting other energy stop us or tell us no. Like, all the third party stuff, when it comes to creating the abundance of your life right now, it kind of has to go. We're building with people that are on the same energy. We're accepting that some people are going in different directions. So be it. It's okay. So, interesting getting that card. I'm going to pull one more. Temperance. Yeah, I do think that patience is important, and I do think that it is a day to kind of not just step on the gas and make something happen, but to go into a place where you're envisioning all the opportunity that is out there for you, and really seeing bigger and wider, and letting the universe come through and give you that hit and then doing something with it. So I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. I'll see you all for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.